So welcome to the podcast, guys. Today's episode is going to be a little different than normal. It's going to almost be like a mailbag from back in the day where I answer random questions with some of my friends. But today I'm going to do it with the fans and friends. Like some of you are friends, some of you are fans. Hopefully we'll all be friends by the end of it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull everybody down into my Discord chat one at a time and just ask you some questions. I'm going to ask you what your game name is, the origins of your game, what you're famous for in RuneScape, and then we're going to spin this lovely wheel of questions and get some random questions to talk about. And if you guys got some great stories to tell with the questions, by all means, take as much time as you want. It's all about telling stories, having some laughs, getting to know you. And then after 5-10 minutes or 20 minutes, depending on how many stories you have, we can move on to the next guy, and we'll try to get as many people as we can. And if this goes really well and I got all kinds of people interested, maybe we'll do this again in the future. So I was actually honestly really nervous about today because I didn't know how today would work. I was afraid like nobody would show up or it would just be a terrible, like the process of it would be terrible, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we'll have some fun with it. Hopefully everyone enjoys the format today. So let's get to it. So let me see who I've got in my general chat. I got 4 people. That's 4 more people than I was expecting. So I'll start with Treasury because I've worked with him before. So I'll pull Treasury down. Treasury there. Make sure you mute your Twitch chat so you don't hear me echoing.
Oh, yeah, I already did that. Don't worry.
Awesome. Okay, you're a little loud. This is the other thing is like everyone's microphone's going to be either real quiet or really loud. So I have to try to play audio engineer throughout this whole podcast. But
oh, my bad.
No, it's not your fault. It's totally Discord's fault, or just the fact that they haven't universalized the whole like audio microphone type of deal where everyone just sounds the same.
You would think
you think they come up with like a standard format for microphone audio levels, but no, they just make us suffer. We have to sit there and adjust everybody. So hopefully he's not too loud for everybody. All right, how you doing today? You doing well?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. I actually woke up about an hour and a half ago.
Okay,
made myself some breakfast.
You got a better head start than I did, so
yes.
Good. So Treasury Gaming. So first question is, what is the origin of your name, Treasury Gaming? How did you come up with that?
Well, it used to not always be that.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be Tomato Cup Noodle, and the reason why it used to be that is because I play this other MMO called Final Fantasy 14, right?
Oh, okay.
And my character on there used to have a name that sounded like tomato, and then his name was Maru, so Tomato Maru-chan, Tomato Cup Noodle. That's where it kind of came from. But the current one that I have now, since I work in banking and I like talking about finance and wealth management and stuff like that, I figured, hey, let me combine that with something else that I really like, which is gaming. So Treasury Gaming, or TG, was born from that.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I'll have to get my baking advice from you, like what to do with my worthless crypto and things like that.
I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a banker.
Oh, okay, okay. Better than me. That's a lot. You can help me balance my checkbook or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so what in RuneScape would you say you're famous for? If I have to say, here's Treasury, he's famous for this in RuneScape, what would you say?
Famous as a 10-year-old scamming out people for their rune armor back when the armor trimming was a
scammer.
thing.
There we go.
Famous scammer. There you go.
So you were one of the.
I actually got a couple black marks on my account because of that.
No.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I guess they changed like the system, so like now like it doesn't really count against you anymore if it's like old, some sort of statute of limitations or something. But yeah.
So, but you're still on your original account, and you didn't get completely kicked off?
No. No. I did not, thankfully.
Oh, okay. So are you doing old school or are you doing RS3 then?
I still have my RS3, my main, and this actually is like the account that's linked to my RS3 main, which I've had for years. So,
which one do you prefer playing on right now?
Old school for sure.
Okay, it seems like most people we get. It's just the game we grew up with, so that makes sense.
Exactly.
All right.
Plus, I mean, I feel that like the atmosphere and just the I guess the way that they manage the game is just better.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't been on RS3 much, so I don't know about the kind of the community there. I know like Zezima and his group, I think they play RS3 a lot. But what works for people? Everyone seems happy with the groups they have, so I can't complain.
Yeah, I mean, well, at this point, like RS3 is basically the original game, and then OSRS is really that's technically the new game.
Right.
So I mean,
well, all the modifications they put into it almost feels like a new game now.
Exactly.
All right. So, and by the way, I'm going to need you to go, when we go back and chat, I need you to be the treasury bot again and like explain everybody what's going on and how to get in the stream and all that so I can focus on the on the chat stuff.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah, I'll help you out with that.
All right. So we're going to get to the wheel of questions here and find out what your first question is. Give it the wheel a spin. All right, here we go. Let's spin the wheel of questions and see what we get. Hopefully something interesting for you. All right. What is your earliest childhood memory?
My earliest childhood memory. Oh my goodness.
Can you even think of anything?
Well, there's one memory that I have. I remember when I think it was in first or second grade. It's super vivid, where it's just like I remember going to school for the very first time, like not for the very first time, but for the first time that year. Mm-hmm. And I remember I really, really, really didn't want to go, and I remember just like crying my eyes out so much so that like when my dad left me, like I went and like apparently I couldn't stay in my seat. I like went up to like the window and I was crying and like watching like the car like go by, and I'm like, oh my god, no, like there goes my dad, and I'm like crying like crazy. And it's so, I don't know why, but that one is just so vivid. I don't get it. I don't get it.
That actually unlocked a memory for me. This would have had been like before kindergarten. For my kindergarten like picture day, like my mom dressed me in this really ugly shirt that had like this big like yellow button, like 2 yellow buttons, and this was an awful ugly shirt. And I hated it. And I was like, I don't want to wear this shirt, and she made me wear it. I'm like crying, like I don't want to wear this. And same thing, I was like crying, like, and I got all the way to the pictures. And I took the picture, and you can even see in the picture. This is the only thing I've seen is the picture. I look like pissed off, like not smiling or anything. It's like angry look on their face. And it was an ugly shirt. I mean, you can look at it today. It's like, oh man, that was an ugly shirt. I was completely justified in being pissed off wearing that. But
we cry for the silliest things as kids, man. Oh, yeah. I can't.
Yeah, I've got a 3-year-old right now, and he throws massive temper tantrums over the stupidest things. So yeah, now I'm dealing with the other end of things. So I've got 2 wheel of random questions. So we'll spin the wheel again on the second wheel and see what we get.
All right, let's do it.
So everybody, we'll get at least 2 questions. We'll see how it goes. Okay, this one's fairly easy. So you get your choice: a beach, a safari, or a forest vacation. Which one are you taking and why?
Well, since I live in like a very beachy area, I guess I would have to go with the forest because I basically live on the beach for the most part.
Oh, okay.
So forest vacation.
What was the other one? Safari?
I don't have any forests.
No
safari.
No desire to go on a safari?
No, I'm good. I don't feel like smelling elephant poop. But.
So I haven't been on a safari. Safari. I've been to a rainforest before, which is interesting. It was just like super hot, like 110 degrees with like 100% humidity type of hot. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it was fun to kind of go for that day, but I wouldn't say I want to do that like all the time. I too have grown up on beaches my entire life. I live on the ocean or near the ocean now. And I used to grow up on one of the Great Lakes. So I'm totally familiar with beaches. And then I grew up in kind of Pacific Northwest. So I've lived amongst the forests as well. So I've kind of experienced all 3. I would actually probably have to, it depends on my mood. Like forest vacations are fun, like kind of camping and doing all that. But beach vacations, I never turned on a beach vacation. We're probably actually going to go on a beach vacation, I think, in a week from now. So
nice, very nice.
Something. It's always relaxing to sit on the beach, let the kids run around, wear themselves out, burying themselves in the sand. Then you could just kick back and do nothing for a day for once.
Well, see, you're a parent, so I mean, it's different for you.
Yeah. Well, even as a young adult, like when I was in my 20s, that's when I lived on the beach. Like I literally was like maybe 4 blocks from the beach. I would walk down pretty much every day and go surfing and just take it easy. And It's just relaxing. I don't know. It's like one of the more relaxing things you could do. If you want to do something like you feel more like kind of want to be interactive, I guess going to the forest is better because you can build campfires and blaze trails and like chop woods, things like that. It's more interactive.
Oh man. Yeah, I agree.
But if you want to just like do nothing and kick back, unless you want to do like, I guess surfing, it's different, but it's kind of a toss up.
You have a choice.
It depends on my mood. Maybe I'll do both. I mean, here we've got the Sequoia Forest nearby, and then you can drive down like 2 hours later and be in Pismo Beach. So you can do both in the same day. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, I am personally, if I'm going to do beach, I'm a big fan of anything Caribbean beaches.
Oh, yeah,
man. I love it.
I have never been, but I really want to go. That sounds fun.
You definitely should. I'm gonna be real with you. I've lived in Miami all my life. I'm doxing myself, haha.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But basically, Miami Beach is overrated, guys. I'm sorry. It's overrated. Don't go there. If you're gonna come here and you're gonna come to the beaches here, I would recommend either doing water sports over in the Keys, or go like an hour north up to like maybe like Fort Lauderdale or West Palm, and it's so much better. Don't do Miami Beach.
Yeah, that was actually one of the questions I put into the Wheel of Spin, is like name a vacation place that's overrated. So,
well, there you go.
3
Miami
for the
Beach.
price of 2. That's great. Yeah, I would. I'm curious. I've been to Miami Beach, but I was like super young when we went, so I don't remember anything about it. But it seems like it would be
nowadays.
Yeah,
it's not.
So, any other
overrated?
Any other questions or statements or stories you want to say before I move on to the next person?
No, not at all.
Have the floor.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad that you've come back and you've you started up your podcast and you started up your videos again. I remember watching you when I was a kid, and it's been absolute fun.
Oh, great! I'm glad
seeing all that
someone,
again,
at least one person, is enjoying it. So I made at least a small impact. I'm glad there's at least one person out there enjoying it. And I'm actually really happy every time I see you and Doobs, and I keep calling them Doobs and some of the regulars. It's always fun to have the same people come in and see the same faces, get to talk to you every week. So I appreciate it as well. So hopefully you'll keep on coming, and we'll see each other every weekend. So it's been a fun time. And
you're stuck with me.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on the show. We'll pull you back into the regular chat, and we'll grab the next guy. Let's get End. He's another regular, so I'm curious to talk to him. To End, you there?
Yeah. Hey.
How's it going? And of course, you're quiet, so I've got to adjust the microphone.
I can turn myself up.
No, you're fine. I got you. I'll play audio engineer today, so no problem. How you doing today?
Right, that's good. Pretty good. I don't have to work today, so that's a big plus.
That's always a bonus. I can't complain. I usually get the weekends off, so I pity the guys that have to work weekends. Poor souls. But so how do you pronounce your name? I guess should be my first question, because I have no idea. Is it Endraga?
It's Endrega.
Endrega, okay.
Yeah. It's so this is one of those names that sort of just came out of the necessity for a new name.
These are the best kind of names.
I just needed something real fast. And so I had been watching some YouTubers play through the Witcher series a little bit. And I guess one of the creatures, one of the monsters in that universe is called it's either like Endrega or Endraga. I never know how to pronounce it.
Oh, okay.
And I just thought that sounds like a cool name, and so I grabbed that. But this was not my original RuneScape name.
So what was your original RuneScape name? Well, how many numbers were at the end of it? And what was
there's only one number.
Okay.
But it's oh gosh, it's super cringe. So
just want to admit it.
To preface this, I started playing RuneScape before the legal age.
Oh, okay.
So I was 11 when I started playing RuneScape.
Are you 13? Sure, yeah. I've got it on my driver's license.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and a funny little aside to that is when it asks you for your age, I put in my real age at the time.
Oh.
And what it does actually is it stores a little cookie on your machine.
Oh, really?
It's like this person put in that they're not the right age. So like I even went back and like tried to sign up again. It's like, no, you're not the right age.
Wow.
So I had to go to a different browser and do it through there.
You didn't know how to delete cookies at that point?
No. At the age of 11, I was a little less tech literate. Anyway, so my original name, when I created it, I was like, what are my two favorite things right now?
Dora the Explorer.
No, not quite that bad.
Okay.
But so I was obviously super into RuneScape. So I'm like, Rune, that's got to be one of them. And I was also, and I guess still am super into Legos. So my original RuneScape name was Lego Rune, and of course that was taken, so I needed to add a 2 on the end of it. But yeah, that was a story of my original
Lego Rune
RuneScape
2.
name. Lego Rune 2.
Huh,
yeah.
That's a great story. That's the kind of stories I like hearing, is just some weird obscure thing that became a name. And there you go, you got a name.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you a follow-up question to that too, and I completely forgot because I was so enthralled in your story. So I guess we could just move on to, what are you RuneScape famous for?
Oh Lord. So I guess there's a couple of different angles you could look at. I guess I wouldn't really call it RuneScape famous. It's not necessarily a good term for it.
Depends. Depends on who you say.
I guess
if you were RuneScape famous, what would you?
Something that I'm proud of is that I am currently working towards maxing a technically unofficial Iron Man account.
Unofficial.
Yeah. So basically, what I mean by that is the count that I am currently playing and have actually the most time on, I created 5 years ago, and a group of 2 other guys and I wanted to do a group Iron Man thing. But of course, that didn't exist in either version of the game yet, and still doesn't exist in RS3,
right?
Which is actually where I play. So we just created standard accounts so we could, train with each other and trade and do that sort of stuff. But we just keep ourselves to the restrictions for the most part of Iron Man. So of course, no trading essentially with other people or on the Grand Exchange or anything.
But it's not enforced. So if you wanted to come in late at night and sneak a stack of cash over to the one, you could technically. But
well, yeah, you could technically do that. But otherwise, I've pretty much kept it to the restrictions of Iron Man. So I can't buy any resources for skilling or anything like that.
That's great.
And so I've played that on and off for the last 5 or so years, and I have just 2 skills left to max.
Oh wow! There you go. That's a great thing to be RuneScape famous for. That's not a lot of people that can say that. Especially in RS3, where you have to kind of manage yourself because it's not like an official thing.
Yeah, and I have actually made one little
he
concession
it
towards the end. Okay, no. Okay, listen. So what I've done is I have allowed myself to sell things for GP for the purposes of buying bonds and redeeming membership. I haven't paid for membership.
Oh, okay.
For a long time because of this.
Okay.
And I guess the reason I decided to do that is because I got uber lucky on a couple of treasure trials and ended up with some extremely valuable stuff that I didn't want to just hang on to and never be able to use. So I'm like, I should just sell this and buy bonds with it, and so I'll never have to buy membership again.
Yeah.
So that's what that concession was for.
Okay. I'll allow that to slide.
Yeah. The other super brief thing I guess you could consider me maybe more infamous for than famous is perhaps especially with you and your general audiences, I've never played old school.
Oh,
I know it's
actually scandalous. I know a lot of people. I'm surprised you haven't even tried it out, or
No, I mean I've seen plenty of it. I have a friend that was playing it for a while. I've watched plenty of old school series. I know pretty much all about it. I've just never really felt the need to get into it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're familiar with the RS3 game, that's the game you know. I probably wouldn't join it either. It's just I think I took my break from RuneScape right as they switched over to RS3, and by the time I came back, it was a completely different game. It was like, okay, I don't know this game, so I probably just go to old school.
Well, it's almost the same for me because I keep taking such extended breaks. Every time I get back, I'm like, what is all this stuff? I still don't know anything about most of the high end content in RS3.
Well, you're almost maxed, aren't you? You haven't done any of the high end stuff.
But I'm mostly like high level PVM stuff, like bossing things. I don't know about.
Oh, okay.
Like the the biggest stuff I kill is like Godward's bosses and the corporeal beast and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm kind of a chicken too when it comes to those big boss things. I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm super scared. Even though like totally nerfed dying in RS3, you can just like pay money and get everything back. But
all right. So let's get to the wheel of questions here and see what we can get on the wheel. Hopefully something fun. Give it a good spin. See what question we have for you here. Okay. I was gonna say we already had that one. Okay. In your opinion, what is the most beautiful place on Earth?
Okay. Well, I will admit I'm not a terribly traveled person, but
well, you have pictures of everything. You can see what.
Yeah. But I feel like to really appreciate the beauty, you got to go there.
Yeah, that's very true.
But like you, I'm a Californian, so we've got a little bit of everything here. So I've got a good selection to pick from.
Oh yeah.
I was always like raised doing stuff in the mountains and things like that. And so I've always loved camping and hiking and backpacking, and I did a bunch of that while I was in the Boy Scouts when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think one of the particular trips that really just sticks in my mind forever was when we went and did like a 50-mile backpacking trip to Mount Whitney.
Oh wow! I know somebody that's hiked that too. Yeah.
Yeah, so just like a lot of the landscapes and scenes I saw on that trip really like stick in my mind as some of the most beautiful I've ever seen.
Yep, it's a good trip. It depends on my mood, I guess. I'm trying to think of the most. I've been to like the Sawtooths, the Tetons. I haven't been to Yosemite, which is gorgeous in the pictures.
That's wild. How have you lived here and not gone there?
It's in Northern California. I'm in Southern, so it's a bit of a drive for me.
Yeah, I'm like sort of straight over from it. So
okay, yeah, it's easy shot for you. But I would say I'm trying to think of. I'm sure there's all kinds of things I'm forgetting, but like Angel Falls and lots of different waterfall places I really like. I'm trying to think we went to a beach in Cancun. It was like straight out of a Corona beer commercial. Like the sand was like white, and it's like the softest sand you'll ever like walk on. You couldn't believe it. It feels like you're walking on talcum powder. And then the ocean is like that light turquoise blue. It was just like straight out of one of those Corona commercials. So I was like, man, I could just stay here forever. So,
yeah,
and that was even in Cancun. It was like we went and drove south of Cancun. It was like a public beach. So that's one of the least places I've been. I would say probably one of my most beautiful places. So let's give one more question for you because we gave 2 to Treasury. We want to give you fair representation of questions here. So I've got 2 different wheels. I'm switching back on. Oh, got wrong. There we go. Give it a legitimate spin here. All right. Oh, I was hoping for that dad joke one, but okay. What is your favorite genre of movie to watch?
I don't know. I guess I'd if someone had asked me, what sort of movies I do watch, I'd have to say that my tastes are kind of eclectic.
That's true. Depends on your mood.
Another RuneScape word I learned from there. Me as a 13-year-old googling eclectic because I've seen
like RuneScape is the best thesaurus
I don't know what that is.
You can get.
Yeah. Um, that's a really hard one. There's a lot of good movies out there.
Well, if you're to go kind of like, this is the genre, not like your favorite movie, but the genre. Like if you're to go to the theater, what are your most like comedy, action, comic book, horror?
I mean,
film?
I guess for the sort of things that I will have gone to the theater to actually see within the last several years, it would, I guess, sort of be action movies, mostly. You know, with the as all the Marvel stuff came out, I watched most of that with friends in theaters.
Yeah.
As you know, for like my favorite movies, you know, it's sort of the Lord of the Rings category and stuff like that. So
Same kind of adventure type movie. Well, that's more of a fantasy adventure, but
yeah. So yeah, I guess maybe you could say adventure of some description might be my my favorite category.
Yeah.
Cool. Can we get movie, video? Maybe that's kind of a stretch. Let's go with your old videos.
That's a terrible choice.
Yeah, maybe that's probably.
But I for me, I would say probably comedy. Like if I like the adventure stuff, but if I'm gonna like just chill out on a weekend, I'm like watching like a Leslie Nielsen, like stupid comedy type movies that are just like
that's like, another good one.
I went back and saw Hot Shots Part 2, which is like an old 80s or it might be a 90s movie, but it's just stupid comedy, but it's total escapism. You don't have to take it seriously, and it's just funny. That's the stupid, like every little thing is a joke. You can kind of see it in my video where I like insert little side jokes within jokes. I think that's where I get it from, is movies like that where I'm like everything's got to be a joke. Those are my favorite.
Sort of like your airplanes and your
exactly. Another great movie. Yeah, like good movies all there. Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Any last comments or questions or anything you want to say?
Yeah, you know, it was funny. Last night I was playing some Left 4 Dead. I don't know if you've ever.
Yeah, I've played that. I think I did one episode of that as part of like a different game type of video way back in the day.
Yeah. So I was playing some Left 4 Dead with a buddy, and we got onto the topic of RuneScape. Just as a little aside, because I'm sort of gearing up to start a RuneScape themed D&D campaign for some friends. Anyway, so in Left 4 Dead, I'm sure you're familiar. They have Molotov cocktails.
Oh yeah.
That you can throw and like burn the zombies and stuff. And what was really funny is my friend was thrown one of these. Is like, hey, I'm going to train fire making with Molotov. And I think he totally forgot he was even referencing you.
Oh man.
Some of these things, like, so I started playing RuneScape 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was right when you started uploading stuff. And so like there's so many references that I don't even realize are from you anymore that I make.
Oh man.
That's... And so does my friend. And I just thought, you know, I know that you always try to stay humble, and you downplay the impact that you may have had on little kids that have now grown up.
Oh no.
To fake adults today. But I just wanted to let you know that you know, that was sort of stuff was definitely impactful back then.
That's
still
great.
Is to this day, even if we don't even recognize it.
Oh, thank you. That's funny though, because I remember that video. I actually mispronounced the word Molotov because I think I called it Motlov. So it's like,
yeah, you called them Motlov cocktails.
I was just trying to get through it. I just quickly called it Motlov and didn't even notice it until I put it up. And the video I'm doing right now is about making videos, and one of the steps of the making videos is like kick yourself for realizing all the mistakes that you put in the video. And that was totally one of those moments like, oh my god, what was I thinking? And of course everybody called it out like in the video, like you mispronounced it. So at least you corrected yourself going forward. You weren't just calling it Motlov cocktails in the game, because
I'm sure I was for a while, and someone was like, "Dude, it's Molotov cocktails."
Okay, my bad. I'll take the blame for that one.
Yeah, no problem.
But thanks for coming on the show. It was great talking to you and catching up. Let's see who is next. Oh, Doobs is showing up finally. He managed to roll out of bed, so I think I'll grab him real quick. Thanks again, End. Let's grab Astro Doobs here. Doobs, you ready to talk?
I sure am.
You
How's
awake?
it going?
Your alarm went off today?
Yeah, yeah. Funny enough, I went to sleep a little bit late last night, and I set an alarm for 12 p.m., which gives me just enough time to get some breakfast, take a shower, watch a stream, be all freshened up, ready to go.
Right.
I slept right through that alarm.
Oh,
It's
man.
12:58 p.m., and I'm like, well, crap. Oh no.
Well, you missed the beginning of the show. I woke up half an hour before the show started, so I was like quickly trying to get my bedroom into a decent looking configuration for the show and I had to set up this wheel of questions things too, so I did that in the middle of the stream. It was all kinds of fun today trying to get ready for the show. I had somebody in my chat asking me if there was actually a show today because I wasn't online or anything, but
right,
it's one of those fun days. But okay, so how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. It's the last weekend that I can enjoy for the next 5 years.
Oh no, what happened?
I start school this coming Monday.
Are you not going to be on the streams anymore?
Oh no, I'll be on the streams.
Okay.
It's just going to be weekends are probably now going to be filled with a lot more work.
Oh, okay.
Than enjoyment.
So you just watch this during work. It's
yeah.
No comment.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to be working 7 days a week now.
Oh my goodness. Wow, I remember those days back in college, working to pay off the college.
It's graduate school as well.
Oh
so
no,
man. Yeah.
Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
So, the origins of your name, Astro Dubes. How did you come up with that name?
Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the second part of my name. All
right, everyone, buckle in. We got a long story here. Sounds good.
All right. So first, I'd like to publicly disclose, right? This is on record to the 9 viewers that you currently have. Contrary to popular opinion, my name is not because I'm a pothead.
Right. Okay.
My name is not because I'm a pothead.
I'm still giving you the pothead voice whenever I'm playing you in game, though.
Go right ahead. I don't mind. So the reason why Dubes came around was it was in middle school, and I had a buddy of mine whose name was Daniel. I had 4 Daniels for friends. So it's like we needed to have some variety in our names, and he came up with this weird name. His name was like Patali or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a really weird name, Patali. And I'm like, oh man, that's so funny. Haha, yeah, that's so cool. And he goes, I'm gonna call you Dubes. And I go, why? What's Dubes? Okay. And about 3 years later, we go along with Dubes, and about 3 years later, once I learn about college humor, I look up the origin of the name Dubes, which actually comes from a comedy sketch called Amir and Dubes, where apparently I reminded that 12-year-old version of my friend Daniel of the character of Dubes, which apparently is kind of like this arrogant, like sort of my way or the highway kind of character.
Right.
Which at first I'm like, well, why did I remind him of Dubes?
Why?
Well, now that I'm an adult and I'm able to look at myself in retrospect, yeah, you know what? I really am that character. I was a really annoying kid back then, so and then the name also stuck throughout high school. So it started with his parents, who called me Dubes. Then my other Daniel's friends, my other Daniel started calling me Dubes, and then his parents started calling me Dubes. And then one day in high school, I was walking down and someone yells, "Yo, Dubes!" Excuse me. "Yo, Dubes!" And I turn around because I'm like, that's my nickname now, and everyone just started calling me Dubes. So it literally transformed into my gaming moniker,
actual name.
And then eventually, as I got my actual name, I went to City Hall and I said, "Hey, yo, you know my name, Brendan? Just scratch it out, just make it Dubes." So
rolls off the tongue easier.
Yeah, exactly. So it ended up sticking throughout high school, and now it sticks through college because now my Instagram handle is AstroDubes. My gaming moniker is AstroDubes. So anyone who knows me outside of the real world, and even some in the real world, still call me Dubes.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Where the Astro part. my Astro part comes from just me liking space.
Oh,
So
okay.
Astro plus Dubes. Yeah.
Awesome. That reminded me too. My nickname in high school was actually Parasite, which sounds terrible, but it was because I played football and I was a defensive back. And there's this one tight end guy, like he was like 250 pounds. They would throw him the ball and we would play at lunchtime. We would play full tackle at lunch. And they would pass him the ball and nobody could tackle him because he would just tank through everybody. So everyone was like sick of it. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to cover this guy. And then I won't have to tackle him because he'll never get the ball. And they wouldn't throw the ball his way because I was actually a pretty good defensive back. I could cover. So he was getting pissed off because like they would never throw the ball his way because I was always in his hip pocket. So he's like, man, you're like a parasite. I can't shake you. You just suck the life out of me. And the name just stuck. Everyone just started calling me Parasite. It sounded like a horrible name, but it was actually somewhat of a compliment. Just not the type of thing that you would think of as a compliment, but it works. So that one I didn't really carry on because it doesn't sound that good to anybody outside of the football context, but it was an interesting nickname that did stick.
Yeah. Well, that's really interesting. I didn't know about that at all.
How many people know about that one? I didn't carry that one over to college for obvious reasons. But RuneScape, what are you RuneScape famous for?
What am I RuneScape famous for?
Right.
I'm not necessarily famous for, but you know, obviously like the 12-year-old me obviously tried making RuneScape videos as well as inspiration from you to Noob Show, Nightmare RH, but they never really took off. So instead I'm famous for getting 299s in the Grand Exchange.
In the Grand Exchange. Oh, okay. That's great.
Magic.
Which story? Which skills?
Magic.
Magic and what?
Just magic.
Oh, you said
magic
two
magic.
Magic. Oh, and RuneScape 3 and
accounts. No, on two separate.
Two separate accounts. Okay, I got you. Okay, I thought you meant like
99 magic twice at the same time in the Grand Exchange.
Oh wow. Okay, that's a lot of high alching, man.
That is a lot of high alching.
Two different accounts.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna let everyone in here in on a little secret. So you know how people say just auto click it? Don't auto click it because you'll get banned for it. What you do is you go to Amazon and you buy yourself a foot pedal for $30. It's literally a gigantic left click for your foot. You buy 2 of those, you put them down, you plug one into your primary PC, one into your secondary PC, and you log in and you just foot pedal away while you do your work.
Bam, bam, bam.
I got like, dude, I kid you not, over like the period of a couple months, because I did it on and off because I didn't want my legs to look like a track and field runner. I don't want my legs to look like a track and field runner. I got those 299s. And it's like, how do you do that? It's brilliant.
Yeah, I like that. It's like you're a drummer. You probably kick butt on like what's that, like Rockstar? Oh, what's that called? The game with the
Rock Band.
Yeah, Rock Band. You probly kick butt on that one with the drummer.
maybe, especially the one with Through the Fire and Flames.
Yeah.
So
that's great. Great advice there. Everyone jot that one down. That's how you do your one click is you get the foot pedal. Don't rely on carpal tunnel on your wrist. Just do it with your feet. They can take the punishment.
Yeah. Exactly. You could just append that to your 99 magic guide.
You helped me write that one. Why did you bring that one up? You didn't want to give away the
I didn't want to give away the
goods.
Trade secret,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to give away the trade secret. But you know what? Since it's up, I figured I'd just give up the gig.
Okay, so all my 8 viewers now know the secret to getting 99s.
It's 10 now.
10. We're up to 10. That's 10 great.
We're up to 10.
All right. Okay, so let's get over to the wheel of questions here and see what we can get for you. Okay, I gotta hit resume and then spin it. See what we get. I feel like everybody should chant out wheel of questions as we do it. Okay, here we go. First job. What was your first job?
I like that one. So I'm going to really briefly talk about my current job because my first job will make absolutely no sense. So right now I work as a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
My first job was an English tutor.
English tutor. That's quite the difference there. Usually the engineers are math-based, not English.
Yeah, exactly. So I worked at my local university at the recommendation from my English teacher, who The level 1 English courses usually have people that don't know how to write at all.
Oh, really? In college?
That really knew how to write. Yeah, in college.
Oh my gosh.
Well, then again,
it's like where the football team goes. The classes the football team takes.
Oh no. No. Apparently so. No, but I mean, down here in South Florida, we have a lot of people who English is not their first language, so they come into college English.
Okay.
Somehow manage to skip the remedial English courses that usually they strongly recommend taking, so that way they get to the level 1 English with a college level understanding of English. But that college was particularly strange and just sent everyone who didn't know how to speak English to these English courses. And so essentially, I had to put in double duty and work as a student and also as a sort of pseudo tutor in that class. I would, when I would finish my work, I'd go around and I'd take a look at other people's work and kind of provide them tips and how to improve their writing. And my English teacher took a notice of that, and so she directed me directly to the chairperson for the English department and said, "Hey, give this guy a job in the tutoring department." So I was a tutor for about 3 years, and then once I transferred out of that college, because I did 2 years in community college and then the remainder of my time at a university, I ended up leaving that job and working as now researcher for the government.
It's great. Good first job, tutor. Try to think back. So my first official job was a kind of a janitor for my dad's shop, but my first unofficial job was probably bubblegum drug dealer, which in middle school, we weren't allowed to have bubblegum, but all the girls in the class wanted bubblegum. So I would go to the store and buy one of those 12-pack bulk buys of bubblegum for I forgot what it was, $3 or something ridiculous. And then go to class and sell each individual piece for 25 cents each to the girls that wanted bubblegum. Then they go into class and they'd be forced to take it out, so then I could resell them the bubble gum again. So I would make $10 profit on the big huge pack of bubble gum because I was selling it for such a high resale. But they would just kept coming back to me. So I called myself a bubblegum drug dealer and actually made pretty decent money just doing that in middle school. So
I'll tell you what, I saw a meme of a kid that got actually suspended from school for doing the same thing, but with a bag of Frito-Lays.
Oh, really?
So
because they would just go to the vending machine
with Frito-Lays. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, there was no vending machine because it was a middle school.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
So he got suspended because he put Frito-Lays in these little baggies and kind of handed them off drug dealer style.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
okay.
And he got suspended for it, and that your story reminded me of that.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, well, yeah, I never got in trouble for it. I mean, technically, you could have. They were the teachers. I think it was an individual basis. They didn't want gum in their classroom, but gum was still allowed. So in the hallway, I could sell it off no problem. And that wasn't being a drug dealer swipe the hand as they walk by type of thing. I was just here you go, bubble gum. So
yeah.
But that's funny though. But thanks for coming on and talking. You did great. I mean, I feel like I'm talking to you 15 minutes now. That's good. I was worried we'd have no stories, no nothing. It'd just be a really quick stream, but we're almost at the top of the hour. This is great. I need to probably get one more hour on, and we'll see how it goes. So thanks again, Dubes. I'll get the next person in.
All right. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Pinball, are you back from eating yet? Oh, Mark.
Yes.
Oh, you're there. Okay, good. We got somebody. Perfect. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Still waking up a little bit, drinking my caffeine as fast as I can. But it's good to have you on. So
thank you for having me.
No problem. So Pinball Whiz, that seems a pretty obvious name. Is there any story behind that one, or are you just really good at pinball?
Actually, there's that username goes way before that. Back on RuneScape, I was originally known as LuxorGamer09. It based off of a really, really casual game way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Pinball Whiz. I really, really enjoy pinball. I'm really good at it. I'm not gonna lie.
A literal wizard at
it. Yeah,
that's great. I haven't played pinball for a while, but I used to like it too. It's I don't know, something about it, just the mechanical aspect of it as opposed to just pixels, knowing that because pinball is not going to screw you over. Whereas like they could program anything into a game to screw you over at any point. Like,
definitely,
you're doing too well. Well, oops, you just lost your character. Don't know what happened there. Whereas pinball is like it's just you versus the machine. And
you actually know what you did wrong.
You can't like scream at physics for screwing you up. So there's nobody to blame but yourself.
There's really a lot more that goes on behind the play field.
Yeah.
I've actually seen on an actual machine what it's like underneath the play field, all the mechanics that go behind it.
Is there stuff that they could do to screw you over, or is it's pretty much straight physics out?
It's pretty much just straight physics. I mean, breakdowns can happen from time to time on a real machine. So if anything like that happens, there's really just nothing you can do.
Yeah, I like how the modern machines now have the tilt aspect to it, so you can't shake the machine. It'll freeze everything and you lose the ball. Did you know the tilt's actually been around since the early 1930s? Oh, really? Oh, so I've played on some machines that didn't have it. Maybe it just wasn't active. That's funny.
Yeah, pinball's been around for 90 years.
Yeah, it's one of those older games. Yeah, definitely.
And the flipper didn't really come around until much later than that. It wasn't until 1947 that the modern day flipper was invented.
What did they use before?
Nothing. It was just plunge the ball and then see where the ball fell down.
Just pray for it to work.
And that's essentially why pinball essentially got banned back in the 1940s.
It's like a gambling machine
during World War II. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if I can go to Vegas and find like a pinball gambling machine instead of a slot machine. That might be more fun than just like.
There is a pinball Hall of Fame over in Vegas. Hundreds of old school or modern day machines over there.
Oh, really?
Highly recommend checking it out at some point.
I'm pretty close to Vegas. So we haven't been for a year or so maybe I'll have to go over there and check it out at some point. It's good to know. Awesome. Right. So what are you RuneScape famous for?
RuneScape famous for MaxCape and the crown over of a Hazelmere signature ring.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, is this on RS3 or OS?
RS3.
RS3. Okay, so you're another RS3. It seems like half and half. We got some old school players, some RS3 players, so it's good to get a nice mix of people in there. Hopefully my playing OS RS doesn't offend you as I'm sitting here.
Not at all. I actually did try OS RS. I didn't actually join RuneScape until like 2009.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're a late guy, so that would make sense that you probably play RS3 because that's probably the game you're more familiar with. I
have no
old school stuff.
Even though I have no memories of 07, I still have kind of a glimpse at what it was like back then.
Yeah, well, old school RuneScape.
I still miss. I still miss the newer graphics and all that.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I think the newer graphics came out. The newer graphics. This came out in like 2009 or 2010. So
I thought it was 2008.
2008. Okay, so you didn't even get the old flavor graphics like this. You got the nice high def stuff that I personally like. I kind of like that era from 2008 to 2012 where
2012. Yeah,
you got the slightly nicer graphics than what you have now in old school, but the gameplay,
definitely.
I like the gameplay from old school. So yeah, I'm kind of that middleman that's the lost generation, as they call it.
Yeah, I'm just stuck in the middle here.
Okay, so let's get over to our wheel of questions and see if we can get a good one. Give it a good spin. And what do we got here? We've got...
Spin
that wheel. What is the most feel-good film that you've ever seen?
It's been a while since I've seen any films.
Yeah, me too. I'm not a big movie. There's been a while since there's been a good movie actually out to watch.
Oh man,
can't think of one off the top of your head. So I'll give you one of mine. So I liked. So Rudy's a decent one, but I prefer Miracle, which is about the 1980 U.S. hockey team. That's like one of those good feel-good movies where team comes together and achieves something that's not possible. I like those kind of. So it's usually sports movies like that where it's like the underdog comes and.
Oh yeah, I've seen some
odds.
of those. I remember seeing like Hoosiers. It was
Hoosiers.
one of the films we had to watch back in high school.
Oh really? They made you watch Hoosiers?
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually watched that. I've watched the ending of Hoosiers. I don't think I've watched the full movie ever. It's free on YouTube right now. If you go to YouTube Movies, they have free movies, and one of them was Hoosiers. And I was thinking of like watching that at some point, but I've never actually seen the whole thing. But I might have
I
to
still
do that.
vaguely remember parts of it. I still go back and watch clips of it from time to time. And I've actually seen some more of what it was like behind the scenes and what actually happened.
Oh wow! Is it based
back
on
in
a
the
true
day,
story or?
Yes.
Okay, what is it? Is it loosely based on a true story, or is it pretty closely tied to a true story?
I'll need to double check.
Okay, because they'll say based on a true story, and that pretty much is licensed to do whatever you want. Like they'll keep one or two of the names the same, and everything else about it's like the general premise. One or two names will be the same, then everything else will be completely changed, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's just like the real thing."
Well, I am reading this from Wikipedia, but it is saying it's loosely based on the story of the Milan High School team.
Loosely based. There you go.
Back
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. I'll have to check that out sometime. So that's a good recommendation for me. Okay, so let's go back to the wheel. We'll get our second question here. From the second wheel. Oops, I have to spin it. Like Price is Right. Oh my gosh, I can't even read this one. Okay, hold on. I gotta squint here. If you could go back in time and make little changes to your childhood, what is the one thing you'd learn and master over the years so that you're an expert at it today?
Be a better speaker.
Be a better speaker. Did you not have speech classes growing up? Or
way back when, I had to take speech classes actually. Well, not necessarily public speaking, but
like the actual speech language.
Trouble. Yeah, I actually had a really hard time speaking
Yeah,
as it is.
me too.
So.
I had speech classes in middle school as well. Because I kept slurring my words. I still do that. I'm bad at slurring. I sound like a drunk or something. But
yeah.
So you would learn just how to be just talking better, or not the public speaking part?
Just talking better. Yes.
Oh, okay. Let me see. What would I do? You know what I might go back and actually tell myself to get better at baseball, because in third and fourth grade, maybe second, third, and fourth grade, I played baseball, and every year I got better. By the third year I played baseball, I remember I joined my friend's team halfway through the year. I was kind of burned out at baseball at that point, but he convinced me to join their team, and I joined the team halfway through the year. Like they had already played half the season, and I think they had lost every game. That's why he was asking me to join. And I went and we won, like, not every game, but we won, like, we started winning games as soon as I played. And I remember one game actually had 4 home runs in it. Like every time I went up to bat, I just hit a home run. And they voted for the All-Star. It was like an All-Star team that you can make. And even with half a season, I got like unanimously voted to the All-Star team for my team. So, but then I was just so burned out about it, I quit. And I never played again. And I came back like when I was after college. I joined some softball teams and started playing again. And I was, after like a season or two, I got the feel for it again. And I was really good. I was making all kinds of play. One of my favorite thing to do was to gun people out from the outfield. Like somebody would hit the ball, it would go over everybody's head. They'd throw it to me, and they're like jogging their way home, and I would throw it home and nail them at the plate. So I was like, man, I wonder if I could have been decent. Like if I'd actually stuck with it and not gotten burned out and played, because I always had kind of a knack for baseball, but I mean, it's a really hard sport to get into. I probably get into the minor league systems and amount to nothing. But I'm curious how far I would have gotten, because I seem to have like a little bit of a natural ability. I just never stuck with it. A little bit of a regret there, but. So was that your first or second question? I can't even remember.
That was my second question.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so thanks again for coming. Do you have any final thoughts or questions or anything you want to say?
Play more pinball.
Play more pinball. Okay, I'm gonna have to do that for a stream someday. Find a nice pinball Steam game and play that one.
I can help you with some recommendations if you'd like.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Send those to me in my Discord. I'll have to check those out. But
will do.
So thanks again for everybody that was able to jump on Discord and do an impromptu interview. It was really great talking to you. I think I'm going to do this again. This was a whole lot of fun. We only got 4 fans today, so it seems like we could do this all the time. As long as we get 4 people to show up, we can interview the fans and talk to them. Hopefully everybody that was listening enjoyed it. But we'll see you guys on the next podcast, which I don't have a guest yet. I don't even know if Kyle's going to be on. We may have to stop doing podcasts at this point because we just can't get guests anymore. But we'll see how that goes. We'll do the podcast in 2 weeks, and next week I'll just be doing normal streaming. So we'll see how that goes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We'll see you again next time. Talk to you later.